welcome back to my channel. I'm doing BAMBII, and if you're just stopping by, it's my series of videos that talks about my life as a pre-grown up, because I do not want to accept that I'm a grown up. Last week I talked about my life basically coming from Nigeria up till I got to Canada. So I talked about getting an apartment, my struggle of, will I say, getting scammed basically. So when I played back the video, I felt like I didn't really touch the topics well. I felt like I would need to explain further, because if I watched that, like if I didn't know anything and I watched the video, I think I'll have like more questions. So I decided to make that particular topic a series of videos. So I'm going to walk you guys through how I survived, or how I'm surviving monthly. So today's video is going to be about the month of August, September and October. I was born 4th of October, and so basically my birthday was 4th of October, right? I won't skip to that, but I'll just start from the beginning. So after I was able to sign the lease for this place, the lease was supposed to start October, and from the last video I told you that I told my dad I was going to go and stay with his friend in America. Sorry, it's about to start raining and I'm bothered about the noise. So I was going to go to America and stay there for 1 month, which was going to be like 30 something days. So that was the plan. The day I was supposed to go to America, that was the same day my dad was supposed to go back to London. Then from London he was going to take the plane to like Nigeria. So we both left on the same day. So it was kind of like sweet sorrow, like, you know, when you don't want to leave your dad, but at the same time I didn't feel him leaving me so much, because I was also traveling. So he technically just took me to the airport. His flight was supposed to be later that day. He took me to the airport and he went back to the hotel, and he later went that same day. So I got to America, and like, shout out to Oyin, Toyin, Toyosi and Tomiwa, my dad's friends' children. They made my stay good, because they are kind of in my age range. I'm older than all of them, but like they were kind of in my age range, so I was still able to not feel like homesick and the rest. But when they started school, I was still there. So I think I kind of felt the burden more, because I was always going to be alone at home and they would go to school. So I was kind of in an hurry and thinking in my mind, I can't wait for school to start. I wish I could take that back. I can't wait for school to start. Anyway, lo and behold, I got an email from my school one day. This is September, middle of September, telling me that I was supposed to come ending of September for orientation, and it was mandatory. And from previous experience, I know orientation is actually important, because that's where you talk about most questions you can't ask them when school starts, or like most questions you won't see them when school starts. So I told my dad, and the problem was now going to be, where will I stay for the 12 days before my leave started? Because this is it. Orientation was supposed to start September 19th. So I had one orientation for September 19th. I had another one for September 29th. So it was a situation where if I came for the first one, automatically I'm coming for the second one. And it made no sense for me to come for the orientation and go back to America, then come back for my list to start. So what we did was, like what me and my dad did was, I was going to stay in an hotel. But I thought about it, staying in an hotel for 12 nights is very expensive. It's super expensive. So I have a few friends that, like a few schoolmates from high school that are in Canada for like school and the rest. So I tried to like ask a few of them, but that kind of didn't work out. So I remember like in Nigeria before coming, I have a friend that went to New York Film Academy. Shout out Funke. He told me that he stayed in Airbnb, and I like before coming here, I've always been hearing about Airbnb, but I felt like it was a bit tricky staying in another person's house. But I was just willing to like go for a cheaper option than an hotel. So I chose an Airbnb for 12 nights, and I was lucky that the Airbnb I found was kind of cheap, but like relatively to what I would have paid as an hotel bill, it was good, and it was going to give me the feel of me being alone. Like I was already going to practice being in like my own apartment per se. So the Airbnb I stayed was close to my school. It was close to a mall, so it was kind of like good. So I stayed there for 12 nights, and in the process, one of my secondary school juniors friend basically, we got in contact, and she told me that she was going to come and see me. And you know those type of friendships that are basically unplanned, because in high school we were not the close type. Like I can count the amount of times we ever spoke, but I was shocked to the way this girl like accommodated me. Even people that I thought that would have been there when I needed a place to stay, for example, or like questions. And she was the one person I can say, like aside my dad's friend, that I can say that really like helped me in terms of like just explaining like the Canada lifestyle and like easing into it. And lo and behold, we've been friends ever since. Shout out to Paula. I'm making a lot of shout outs anyway. So this is ending of September, yeah. Now it's the process where I have to think about, do I want to start buying furniture and like things for my house when school starts? Because school was supposed to start October 2nd. I was moving into my apartment October 1st. So I had to think of what I was going to do. So I came up with a plan that I was going to like buy all my furniture and have them delivered the day I'm moving in. So the day I'm moving in, I'm getting my bed, my chair, everything coming in. And my dad's friend was also nice enough to take me to IKEA. So IKEA is a place where you can buy really relatively cheap furniture. So I would advise, if you don't want like second-hand furniture or second-hand things like buying on Kijiji and other places or eBay, I'll tell you to go to IKEA. The reason why most people may think like it's not wise to buy on IKEA is, the reason why I wanted to buy in IKEA is Toronto has a problem of bed bug, and I do not want to buy someone's furniture that could have like bed bug in it. And they have a really bad bed bug infestation in Toronto, because once you have just one, they multiply and like they infest your whole house. And also when you're looking for an apartment, there's this bed bug registry that you're supposed to check to see if the apartment you're leasing out is under it. So I wasn't about to like go for that, and I'm a really, I don't know how to explain it, but I like my things. Like I like owning my things. I know it was going to be an extra cost buying it new, but I know it's something that in the long run, I have a sofa for myself, I have a TV for myself, like, and it's something that still has second-hand value. If I decide to move out to a place that is furnished, I would sell all the furniture I got and still get like kind of my money back. So that was what was going on for the beginning of October. And I would say October was a very difficult month for me, because as I said, I moved in 1st of October, my birthday was 4th of October, school started 2nd of October, so I was basically overwhelmed. And the reason why I came early was not to get overwhelmed, but because of what happened in my house. That was what, like, I just got overwhelmed basically. And 1st of October, to the glory of God, I moved in. I moved into my apartment, and everything worked out like perfectly. As I got the key, IKEA delivery guys were there to bring in my furniture. But the catch is, for IKEA furniture, it comes in a box. Like your bed comes in a box, your mattress comes in a box. So you have to assemble it yourself or pay someone to assemble it. But my muscle now, I assembled everything myself aside the bed and a big chest of drawer. So I couldn't do that myself because it was pretty heavy. But things like my bookshelf, my chair, this chair I'm sitting on, I assembled it myself. My tables, every other furniture I got, I assembled it myself. And another thing I would say is not even like moving out for the first time, moving out generally. I think you should have like a dream board of what you want your apartment to look like. From Nigeria, I used this app Pinterest to get like ideas of how I wanted pieces of my house to look like, and like other people's houses, like how I wanted to model my house to be like that. So basically that was what I did. And yeah, I figured out like my furniture and moving in. So kind of for the first week I was living like in an empty house. So I remember like my first night here, I slept on the floor. Not like a floor with a blanket or anything. I slept on the bare floor because my load was still packed, and like I didn't stop receiving delivery until like 8 in the night or something. So I was already tired to even like start unpacking or anything. So that was like basically what the first 2 days were. Like when I went to school for the first, like my first class, I came back that 2nd of October. I had to do like the wall behind me because I didn't have like major things to do. Everything I was supposed to assemble was dependent on something that was also being delivered on my birthday, and I didn't have internet. I was supposed to get my internet the 1st of October, but I found a cheaper provider. I was supposed to use Rogers at first, so I found a cheaper one, which was Bell. Relatively, some people would think Bell isn't cheap, but Bell to me is cheap. And my mobile provider is also Bell, so that's something. You can also get like student deals, and I got like a student deal. That was why I went with Bell. So Bell was supposed to deliver my internet on the 4th. So the only time I had to like talk to my friends and talk to my family and basically call them, because WhatsApp call is the way. I wasn't able to, or I am still not able to call internationally because of the plan I have with Bell. So it was only when I was in school to use the school's Wi-Fi that I was able to like talk to people. Oh, Zeus wants to say hi. So this is Zeus. I don't know if you can see him, it's so dark. Anyway, I'll talk about Zeus later though. So that was the only time I was able to kind of talk to the house, and like I explained to all my friends that okay, it was because I didn't have my Wi-Fi yet. So, and another thing that was scaring me was, you know, on your birthday, like people start calling you from 12, and if no one was able to call me, or like if I was not able to see like people's messages, I think I would have been sadder. So I kind of called them and I explained the situation to them, and they told me that they were going to try their best to deliver the Wi-Fi on Tuesday, and they did. And like I was grateful. Like I didn't even know that just explaining your situation to people could actually help, and funny enough it did. So I got my Wi-Fi, and on my birthday I had a free day from school because Wednesday was a free day for that timetable. So throughout the day I just continued assembling things, and I remember my dad called to tell me that I shouldn't stay home alone and I should try to like go out. But the problem was, I'm in a new country, I don't have any friend aside Tola, of course. So I messaged Tola and she was like, oh, she was going to finish school early that day and that she would come and meet me. So thank God she was able to come. We went for dinner, and my dad's friend's wife and himself and their son came to also see me at the dinner, but they were not able to wait. So they only got me my gifts. I got this pillow. I got this pillow and some other things as one of my gifts, and I really love this pillow because it's like a Toronto piece. So I can say like the day kind of ended well. A day that I thought was not going to end well, it kind of ended well. So I guess I'm thankful for that. Then the month of October for me, I think it went by quite fast because I was always missing home. And I think that's one thing you need to realize, is that no matter what, you're going to miss home, because you can never get like the friends you had when you were in Nigeria, or like you can't make friends that fast. Like your first month here, you already have like your set of friends. I would advise you take some time to like find the right people that are meant for you. So I was really just to myself, and I would say it was kind of depressing, but at the same time, it was a situation where you just have to like be strong and realize that moving out is like gradually. Like I know I would never feel the way I was feeling October like now, because I think I'm getting used to the idea of being by myself, because I came from always having my family or always staying with my friends to just literally being alone. Especially if you live alone, I live in a 1 bedroom, so it's just me. If I don't have a visitor, it's just me. And that was one of the reasons why I started thinking about getting a pet. But I didn't get a pet until early November, which is going to be in my next video. And yeah, basically October was just the month of me just figuring out living alone. And yeah, I would say my expectations versus my reality is, my expectation was everybody wants to move out of their parents' house, everybody wants to be responsible for themselves, everybody wants to be independent. But at the same time, you have to think about what you're getting into. It means that financially, aside your parents supporting you, but financially, you have to determine, oh, okay, this $20 my dad is sending to me, I'm using an example, but this $20 my dad is sending to me, I have to pay my house rent, I have to pay utility, I have to pay Wi-Fi. So you also have to be like budget friendly. And also, one thing someone told me while moving here is you have to work on a schedule. So yeah, I have like a daily schedule I follow, not really, but like the things I know when I wake up I have to do first, like walk my dog or like cook for class, like I have to take food to school, because I don't really like American food and the rest. So I think those are one of the things you have to like put into consideration. And another thing is, if you're deciding to go to a country, another thing that helped me was I got a visa for the neighboring country before I came here. So I have like a visiting visa for America, because I knew like there was going to be a situation I would have needed to go to America. So I think if it's possible, after getting your study permit, or like before getting your study permit for wherever you're going to, if it's the UK, you can get for like America, you can get for France, you can just get for, just make sure you're not limited to coming to or going to the country you're supposed to be in, then applying for visa, because I'm not sure how easy it may be. You may find it easy, but I just feel it's something that would be easier when you know you always have a visiting visa to America, and you can always go there when probably school work is too much or something. I don't really know what your situation may be, but that's one thing I would say. And also finding a job. I think before coming here, or before going to wherever you're going to, look for like a website that posts jobs, so you can have like some ideas of jobs you will apply for, because that was what I did. I went on indeed.ca. It's a job recruiting website where you find like things or jobs that you can apply for. So I already started applying before I came. So that's another thing. Well, kind of this is the end of like my October series, and I hope you tune in next time to watch and hear about my November journey. And you also get to know Zeus's story. Oh my god, Zeus. You also get to know his story. Yeah, thank you for watching, and remember to like the video. You can drop a comment and tell me any idea you want me to do, or anything you want me to talk about. I'll gladly talk about it. And remember to subscribe and share the video. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that knows another friend. Okay, that's the end. Thank you guys, and have a good day. Bye.